Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. It is North London Derby Day in the WSL as Arsenal host rivals Spurs at the Emirates Stadium. Despite it being Valentine's weekend, there will definitely be no love lost between these two teams during this lunchtime kick-off. Arsenal have picked up really good form since Renee Slagers took charge since the dismissal of Jonas Eidevall in the middle of October. It is 15 wins from 18 in all competitions under the guidance of the 36-year-old head coach, with only 2 defeats coming in those 18, and they were away to Chelsea and a 95th minute heartbreaker against Manchester City in the semi-final of the League Cup. Spurs are placed right in the middle of the WSL table with 5 wins from their opening 13 league games. Just one of those 5 wins have been away from home, and that came in their last game on their travels against Crystal Palace in a 3-2 victory in the 95th minute through new signing Olivia Holt, who is on the bench this afternoon. It was quite the walk in the park for Arsenal in the reverse fixture with a 3-0 win after goals from Russo, Marnham and Blackstenius. In fact, Spurs have only won one North London derby since November 2019, and that was a 1-0 home win for them last season in December 2023. So for this episode of the North London derby, will it be Arsenal to close the gap to the top 2, or can Spurs pull off a shock and leapfrog Brighton into 5th? I think, of course, Arsenal will be favourites for this game. They are in 3rd position at the moment in the WSL, and in the last 11 seasons, Arsenal have finished 3rd 8 times. They've finished 3rd in 4 of the last 5 seasons as well, so it's almost just like their given position at the moment at the end of every season. But they're going to try and change that this season. We've had a Manchester City fall off, as they're currently in 4th position, and they are 2 points behind Arsenal after their WSL meeting between the two at the start of February, which was 2 weeks ago now, and then Arsenal are looking to try and hunt down, like I said, those top 2 positions. Manchester United are currently in 2nd place, and they are 3 points away from Manchester United, but the Red Devils are also playing currently as we stand. They kicked off at 12 o'clock, and they are leading 1-0 against Crystal Palace. So in fact, Arsenal are now 6 points behind Manchester United, but of course have a game to play. And then up against Chelsea, it's pretty much their title to lose. They are 10 points clear of Chelsea at the moment. They're 10 points clear of Arsenal at the moment, Chelsea, and just the 4 points ahead of Manchester United. But of course, that's with Manchester United winning currently at the moment, 1-0 against Palace, and Chelsea still have to play this weekend, and they host Everton at 2 o'clock, which should be a pretty routine win for Chelsea. But focusing on this game, it's simply a game that Arsenal can't lose if they want to try and chase down and finish in that top 2 and try and get as close to Chelsea as possible. They've had a couple of cup games since the last WSL game, Arsenal. The last league game was Manchester City away on the 2nd of February, which was a 4-3 win, and it was a cracking game full of goals, and they were never behind in the game. Manchester City did pull them back a few times to get level, but Arsenal were always in a position of in the lead if there was a team winning in that game. But since then, they have played 2 more games on top of that, Arsenal, and that 1-1 draw. That 2-1 defeat to Manchester City in the League Cup, as Gareth Taylor's side were able to get a little bit of revenge and get City into that League Cup final. Actually, it was a 95th minute winner from Mary Fowler, who also got City's first in the 26th minute. And then Arsenal's last game was a big win against London City. It was a 2-0 home win in the FA Cup 5th round. It's definitely a competition they'll be looking to try and get as far as possible in, for sure, because Arsenal have won the FA Cup 14 times, the women's side, but the last time they won it was in 2016. So like I say, for sure, it's definitely a trophy that they'll be looking to try and win, because Arsenal, I think you can't really debate it, are probably the biggest side in the women's game in England. They're at the Emirates for all of their home games in the league, and it looks like this will probably be another near sellout, really. Which is obviously great to see for the size of the game. We've got both sets of starting 11s in the tunnel, and they are just about to walk out onto the pitch, unfortunately, and I don't know why, but it's not your usual red against white. Arsenal are playing in their home kit, of course, being at the Emirates for their home game, but Tottenham are in a green away kit, which I don't know why. I'd love to know the reason. I think it's just better when two rivals like this always wear their home kit against each other. But they are being led out by the referee today. That's Stacey Fulix, who refed for the first time in December 2017, and she's actually twice won Cambridgeshire FA Official of the Year. So she's obviously come on quite a bit in her refereeing career. As there is Leah Williamson, the Arsenal captain, with a very young mascot there, as they'll start shaking hands and fist bumping as we'll go through both starting 11s, and it will be just the two changes for Arsenal since that last league lineup 2 weeks ago against Manchester City. Daphne van Domselaar keeps her place in between the sticks. It's her 7th appearance in the league in a row. It's a back four of American Emily Fox, who has started every game so far in the WSL for Arsenal. At left back will be a returning Katie McCabe, who was sent off in an away game against Chelsea at the back end of January. And two centre-halves, one of them being the captain, Leah Williamson, and also next to her is the number 7, Steph Catley, can play both centre-back and full-back. The Australian. Two holding midfielders of Kyra Cooney-Cross, who's making a 49th Arsenal appearance of her career, and it's her 6th start in a row in the league. And alongside her will be Leah Velti, the 31 Swiss holding midfielder. Just in front of them in the number 10 role will be their number 12, Frida Marnham, who has got the 1 goal this season against Spurs in that 3-0 away win. 2 on the flanks. On the right-hand side will be Caitlin Ford, who did miss 2 games injured at the back end of January and the start of Feb, but she's come back for the last 2 cup games, and she starts again for Arsenal. On the left will be Mariona Caldente, who they brought in a free from Barcelona. She scored once against Manchester City in that last game, in that famous 4-3 win. And up front, leading the line through the middle, will be Alessia Russo, who's featured in every game so far this season for Arsenal. It's, of course, 14th in the WSL, and she's on 7 goals at the moment, and she also scored against Spurs in that 3-0 win, and she also scored in early November against her former club, and that is Manchester United. As for Spurs, it is 2 changes as well for them from their last league lineup 2 weeks ago, and that was in fact their last game. So Tottenham have had a huge 2-week break with no fixtures as they've been knocked out of the League Cup and of the FA Cup as well. And it is Lisa Kopp in goal, a January signing who they brought in from Leicester, and that's who she made a debut against back on the 19th of January. A back four on the right back will be Ashley Neville. The 31-year-old is making her 100th WSL appearance. At left back will be Amanda Neildon, who made a permanent move to Tottenham in the summer after being on loan from January to June in 2024. The 2 centre-backs of Claire Hunt and Molly Bartrip, who made her WSL debut back in March 2016 against Arsenal. And then 4 in midfield on the right wing will be Hayley Rasso, who signed on a 2-year deal from Real Madrid. On the left-hand side will be Anna Chiki, the Hungarian winger, was brought in the summer from Häcken. It's just her 2nd start in the WSL. Her other one came against Crystal Palace away in the back end of January. And 2 central midfielders of Matilda Winberg, who signed in January 2024. The Stockholm-born midfielder makes her 5th start of the season in the league, and alongside her will be Maita Oroz, the Spanish central midfielder, brought in on a 4-year deal from Real Madrid. And then 2 strikers. It's a very pacey Jess Naz, who's now an England international with the legacy number of 230, and alongside her will be the Tottenham captain Beth England, who's on 7 league goals so far this season. She scored 5 in the last 5, which include a brace against Everton and Crystal Palace, and also the 1 goal against Brighton. So those are the 2 starting 11s for this big WSL North London derby as Arsenal host Tottenham Hotspur at the Emirates Stadium. Huge game for both. The lack of fixtures in this league, because there's only 12 teams, it means there's just 22 games each, so every 3 points available are huge, because if you go on a little bit of a bad losing spree, then you can really fall down the table. So it's a big game for both, as it's Tottenham to kick us off, kicking right to left. It's Arsenal left to right for this first half. And it's Russo on halfway, heading it backwards here to Caldente, then heads it inside to Marnham, shields the ball away nicely and tries to play it to Cooney-Cross, but she's been dispersed by Naz, who then brought to the ground, and that'll be a foul given by the referee. She doesn't agree with the decision, Velti, but Jess Naz starts quickly and wins the free kick for her side there. Yeah, clip of the legs, quite an obvious foul there on Tottenham's number 7, who's not quite been in the goal-scoring form as she was last season. She only got 1 goal so far this season, Naz, and that was on the opening game against Crystal Palace in a 4-0 home win. Last season, she was able to score 7 in all competitions, which included a brace against Arsenal in the League Cup as it's dinked into the box, headed away by Catley, and then shot towards goal is sent over the crossbar from the edge of the box by Maita Oroz, and that will be a goal kick for Arsenal. Great pick-up as well, Maita Oroz from Spurs, making her the Tottenham number 10. Played just under 150 appearances for Real Madrid in a 4-year stay at the club. As it's Arsenal to play out from the back. It's their captain, Leah Williamson, charging down the right-hand side with the ball and then clipping it into the middle of the park. It's well chested there by Caldente. Played down the right-hand side towards Russo, who will give chase, but it's Nilden to get there first. Midway side, the Tottenham half, and it's the away side with the possession. And it's with their right back, Ashley Neville, previously a primary school teacher before being able to put a full focus and full career into football. She joined Tottenham back in 2017, and in her first season at Tottenham, Ashley Neville, she won the Player of the Season award. And she's been a pretty consistent Tottenham player for the years she's been at the club. So they're playing out from the back here, Tottenham, with the right centre-back here at the moment of Claire Hunt, back into the right back in Neville. Lays it off inside. It's a short ball, but it's kept alive, and it's now bounced back through to Neville. It's now in the 18-yard box with Hunt. The goalkeeper, Lisa Kopp, the Dutch goalkeeper, making just a 4th appearance for Spurs. It's joining in January. It's now with the captain, Beth England, taking it beyond the halfway line, down the left-hand side on the near side. Wanting to pass it, turns away from Cooney Cross and plays a ball inside. It's a nice ball, but it's just a bit of an overhit touch there by the number 14 of Anna Cheeky. But then it can't quite be kept for Arsenal. They were looking for Caldente just slightly too far in front of her. And it will be Tottenham back in possession as they force it back to their goalkeeper of Lisa Kopp. 5'8" Dutch goalkeeper. Came through Ajax and left for England in August 2023 to join Leicester, the club where she's been signed from for Tottenham. As they play out to the right side, halfway line, it's Neville, the right back, into the channel, down the right-hand side for Naz to give chase. It's 7v7, and it's the Arsenal 7 to win the ball and clear. Steph Catley just kicking out of play, throwing midway side the Arsenal half for Tottenham. Going to be a right handful to deal with tonight. Jess Naz, full of pace. And once she gets going, like I say, it's hard to stop. As on the right-hand side, Oroz goes down the line towards Naz. The second time it does work and she stays on side. It's now Neville. Oroz tries to play it into the space for Neville, but it's overhit. And it's going to be a goal kick for Arsenal. Not a bad opening 3 minutes for Tottenham. They're playing a bit of football, getting into the game nicely. You know, they want to try and avenge Arsenal for that 3-0 defeat earlier on in the season, and already by this point, Arsenal had took the lead, scored in the 2nd minute through Alessia Russo. And the worrying stat for Tottenham that day when they were beaten by Arsenal was the fact they only managed 3 shots, 2 of them on target, but still at home in a North London derby. That is just simply not good enough at all. So they'll be looking for that revenge as Cooney Cross's ball is short, but it will reach Fox, who will let it go out for a throw-in because it was just touched out of play there by Hayley Raso, the Australian winger for Tottenham. It looks to be playing on the left-hand side this afternoon. Looks like maybe Matilda Vinberg will be playing on the right-hand side for Tottenham. But still no big chances in the game, just less than 5 minutes in. It's with Leah Williamson for Arsenal, not being pressed at the moment. Goes to the left to Catley, then into the space for McCabe on the halfway line. Got Vinberg in front of it, but she can play it into her right here to Velti. And then forward, and then laid off by Caldente to Cooney Cross in the centre circle. And out wide to the right-hand side to Emily Fox, who goes down the line to Caitlin Ford. Back into Fox towards the halfway line. Into a more central area now to Williamson, who's been the England captain since 2021. Famously lifted that Euros trophy. This is Cooney Cross. Tries to find Fox and she doesn't. It's a brilliant turn as well from the American, and she gets away from Raso and lays it off here to Caldente, 25 yards out. Again, just able to lay it off out wide right to Ford, who's going to run here at Nilden in the box onto her left foot. Left-footed shot is deflected away up towards Caldente, who tries to poke it back to Williamson, which is successful. It's now worked out to the far side to McCabe, who's joined in the attack from full-back. Has to go back into Catley, then inside to Velti, then into the space down the left-hand side for McCabe, who won't get there first ahead of Hunt, but he'll just be kicked behind there for a throw-in in the final third for Arsenal. Long throw in there by McCabe into the box. It's a header away by Neville, but poor touch on the edge of the area by England. Forces a shot for Arsenal by Velti. It's cleared away for Tottenham. Arsenal again on the far side trying to attack. It's with their number 7 and their centre-back for today, Steph Catley, who's been at the club since July 2020, brought in from Melbourne City. She was born and raised in Melbourne as well, the 31-year-old defender. She goes down the line here to Caldente. It's now Velti. Has to be solid defending here from Tottenham, as Arsenal are moving this ball around quickly. And it seems like that is one of the changes that have been brought in since Renee Slagers took over for Arsenal, as Williamson gives the ball away and England is isolated up front, but she can find support on the left now as Rasso breaks away. Naz is making a run in front of her. She's charging down the left-hand side. She tries to cut in. Brilliant tackle from Cooney Cross the first time, but the second nibbles a foul, and it will be a free kick for Tottenham. It's very unlike Leah Williamson there to give the ball away in such fashion. And England was able to drive away with it, and support got up to her quick because they have got some speedsters in their starting 11 today, Tottenham, the likes of Jess Naz and Hayley Rasso as well. So it will be a free kick, about 25 yards out, just to the left-hand side here for Tottenham. It'll more than likely be a delivery into the box here from their number 10 and 26-year-old Maita Oroz. It looks like it will be a curled ball in towards the goal, and that is awful. That is a shocking delivery straight into the gloves there of Van Domselaar, another Dutch goalkeeper who was brought in the summer as Arsenal activated a buyout clause in a contract. But yeah, that was an easy catch for her, and just a wasted opportunity there for Tottenham. So they've got to be trying to punish Arsenal when they make mistakes and give Tottenham opportunities. Williamson down the line into the space for Fox. That's a brilliant ball. Midway inside the Tottenham half, she just slows it down and looks to try and play a ball inside, which she does to Cooney Cross, who's now looking to play it forward. Finds Ford, it runs through towards Russo, who can't quite get free in the box. Really good defending there by Claire Hunt. And it's into the gloves of the goalkeeper, Lisa Kopp. But that little dummy there from Ford to let it run through for Russo almost worked a treat. But it was really strong and quite confident defending there by Claire Hunt, brought in the summer from PSG, where she spent just 1 year at that club, finished second in the league, and unfortunately lost out in the Champions League semi-final to French club Lyon. As we're back with the action, and it's Arsenal already back on the ball on the halfway line with Williamson. Again, curling out to the right side, a pinpoint pass to Ford, who's got plenty of time to find a cross here. If she can find the right player, it's at the back post. It's looking for the runner McCabe, but it's a good header away there by Neville. And it'll be retreated back for Arsenal by Velti. Catley back down the left-hand side here for Velti, who put a left-footed ball in it, and it deflects. It's going for a corner until it's avoided by Hunt, and it's a pass found here to Vinberg, who just kicks it up in the air down the Tottenham right here, where it's headed backwards by Caldente. It's now with Catley. Ball inside, just cut out there by Oroz for Tottenham, and then eventually cleared up the pitch by Neville, but only as far as Williamson on halfway. And this is what Tottenham have got to try and avoid, being kind of stuck in their own half. When they get the ball, they can't just be kicking it long and giving it back to Arsenal. They've got to try and link it up as best as they can. As Ford goes inside to Marnham. Been slightly quiet in the opening 10 minutes or so. Frida Marnham, who's had a brilliant season so far, 5 WSL goals. Just one in the last 5, and that came in the last game that they played against Manchester City in that 4-3 win, as Marnham plays it into the box here for Ford. She's got back to goal and she's tackled by Neildon. It's now out to the left-hand side for Tottenham. Midway inside their own half with Rasso. Trying to play it into space towards England, but she's overhit it. And it'll be collected on this near side by Kyra Cooney Cross, who's making a 9th start in the WSL this season. She only made 5 in the league in the entirety of last season, so it seems like she's really coming into her own now in an Arsenal shirt, the Australian. Still yet to score, though, in the league. Kyra Cooney Cross, and she's only scored once for Arsenal, and it was this season in an away game in the League Cup against Brighton back in the 22nd of January. Williamson down that line again for Ford, and she's cutting inside from the right flank, getting in front of Neildon and playing it back out wide to Marnham. Advantage is played as she's been held back, and Marnham puts the cross into the far post, where it's had to be volleyed behind by Neville. She was on her own there, the right back, but she wasn't taking any risks and just kicked it behind. Usually there's a late run by McCabe from left back, but it wasn't there that time, unfortunately. Not a bad ball, but like I said, just no one attacking it. But they have won a corner from it on that far side, and Arsenal will be trying to make the most of any set pieces they do get. The captain, Williamson, is in there. So is Russo. It will be delivered in from the right-footed in-swinger of Kyrie Cooney, crossing towards the goalkeeper who catches well in the 6-yard box. It's confident goalkeeping by Lisa Kopp, who during a time at Ajax, where she came through and developed, she did win 2 Eredivisie titles in 2018 and 2023. And there is the Arsenal head coach of René Slegers, retired in 2016 due to an ACL injury, unfortunately, and then got into coaching herself. And like I say, it's a 10th game in charge in the league. That's including her interim roles, and she's won 7 of those 9 with an aggregate score of 24-3. And yes, those 3 goals all came against Manchester City in the last game. So in the previous 6 wins they'd picked up in the league under René Slegers, they hadn't conceded a goal, which shows how difficult they are to score against now. At times, of course, conceding 3 against City is a lot, but they scored 4, so definitely weren't complaining. Like I say, it was a really, really good watch, that Manchester City game 2 weeks ago now. But they've not kept a clean sheet in any of their last 2 league games, Arsenal, and they were on a run of 5 in a row before that, home and away. And there's the Tottenham head coach, Robert Vilahamn, 41, Swiss head coach. Took charge of his 50th game last time out against Manchester United when they were defeated 1-0. A 6th minute goal from Elizabeth Turland was the difference. But again, just managing the 7 shots that day, 2 of them on target. But it's Arsenal on the ball, on the halfway line here with Cooney Cross, again, not being pressed at the moment. She plays out wide to the left to McCabe. Cal Dente playing it forward in between the lines there for Cooney Cross. That's a good ball. Then out wide left to McCabe in the final third. She is fouled there by Neville. So he tried to cut in onto her right foot there and it just didn't quite get the timing right. Referee quickly on the scene. Just going to have a quick word there with Ashley Neville. Stacey Flicks. Yeah, caught her. Quite an obvious foul, an easy decision there for the referee. But she's already back to her feet. Probably one of the toughest players in the WSL, Katie McCabe. No matter the weather, it's always short sleeve shirt on. None of this snoods and the quarter zips and anything like that. Even when it's snowing and minus temperatures, she's still wearing no layers. That's no different today. As Cooney crosses over it again, it's like a better angled corner this. And she'll put it in right footed, but she goes to the edge of the box to McCabe. I don't think expected that. It's cleared away, but not convincingly. To McCabe, will poke it towards goal, and it's sent over the crossbar, and it's a goal kick for Tottenham. Just took a nick off the roof of the net there, that shot. Just a bit strange. It just didn't look like McCabe was ready for that pass to the edge of the box. And the cross was poor from McCabe, and then it was just kicked back to her, though, by Bartrip. And then, like I say, the second attempt from McCabe, just inside the 18-yard box, is poked over the crossbar. She had the Tottenham goalkeeper backtracking, that's for sure. As Tottenham try to play out from the back, Rasso she can keep it in, but she takes herself off the pitch and falls off balance, and Cooney Cross can cross it in towards Russo, and it deflects into the bottom left corner. And Arsenal take a lead just less than 15 minutes in. Alessia Russo will take the credit for the goal, but that might be awarded as an own goal. But Arsenal will not care. They take another early lead in this fixture. Not as early as last time. They scored in the 2nd minute in the reverse fixture. This time it took them 15 minutes. But they're in the lead, and it's 1-0 to Arsenal. Alessia Russo with the Arsenal touch towards goal. It was a poor pass out wide to Rasso, and she's done really well to keep it in. She chested it down, but then she slipped off the pitch, and then it just allowed Kyra Cooney Cross to take it up on the right-hand side for Arsenal and deliver a ball in. It's a really bad ball, that, towards Rasso by Anna Cheeky. And then Kyra Cooney Cross put the cross in to the 6-yard line, where Russo's headed it towards goal, and it's come off, I think, the hand of Hunt, and then into the bottom left corner. That will certainly be an own goal. Great delivery in, though, from the Australian. Did Russo even get a touch? I don't even know if Russo got a touch, to be completely honest. But the major final touch came off Tottenham defender Claire Hunt, and it will go down as an own goal And here in this North London derby at the Emirates Stadium, it is Arsenal 1, Tottenham 0. And Tottenham started decently in the first couple of minutes, where they were passing it around and getting towards the Arsenal goal. But since there was bad back pass and Ford's got a chance towards goal, brilliantly saved. And Tottenham are almost giving Arsenal this game. It's Cooney Cross in the box. She plays it to Fox on the right-hand side, and a delivery is blocked off by a sliding tackle from Hayley Rasso. And it will be an Arsenal corner on the near side. It's completely self-inflicted, this at the moment, from Tottenham. Claire Hunt playing it back to Bartrip, who wanted to go to the goalkeeper, but didn't see Ford closing that pass off. And as Ford took the ball on, the angle was slightly tight, and just on the 6-yard line, she's trying to shoot a cross goal to the bottom right corner, but it's well saved by Lisa Kopp. And Tottenham just need to try and relax here and see out this storm before the scoreline gets any worse. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger on the near side from McCabe towards the back post, where it's headed away to the edge of the area towards Caldente. Naz will get there first for Tottenham, but then Caldente wins the second ball and plays it out wide to Velti, who will calmly restart the play at the back with Catley for Arsenal into Cooney Cross, the assist maker for that first goal. She's been closed down by England, has to go back to Catley, and out wide to Marnham, and then all the way back to the goalkeeper, Van Domselaar, not wanting to lose the possession. There, Arsenal, who are well in control of the game now, and the goal shows that. But for Arsenal, it is 4 wins in their last 5 league games. That defeat, the game where they didn't win, was a 1-0 away defeat late on against Chelsea. But other than that, they've won away at City, at home to Palace, away to Liverpool, and also at home to Aston Villa. And it was a poor start for them in the league. 2 wins from their opening 6 league games. So you can just think if maybe they'd started the season without Idaval, then possibly they could have been a lot closer to Chelsea at the top. But at the minute, they are battling Manchester United for second. It's down the left-hand side, Caldente into Russo, who's just peeled out wide and cuts onto a right foot away from Neville, and then going to put a ball in towards the far post, and it's not far away from Katie McCabe, who'd found herself on the right wing there for Arsenal. It's not a bad delivery at all there by Alessia Russo, who is looking for a 20th WSL goal for Arsenal. She can't quite claim that first one. I don't even think she got a touch on it, to be completely honest, but she's got 41 WSL goals in her career, 19 for Arsenal, and then the 22 for Manchester United. As it will be a Tottenham goal kick taken by their goalkeeper, Kopp. She's going to kick it as long as she can up towards the halfway line. Out to the Tottenham left-hand side. It's headed on by England, and it's controlled here by Vinberg, but can't quite keep it away there from the Arsenal midfield, and they've already won it back here, the Gunners. That's with Emily Fox, who goes back into Williamson, then into the midfield to Cooney Cross. He's allowed to turn forward. Too easy, that for the Australian, but that pass is intercepted by the head of Neville, but headed straight to Steph Catley, so Arsenal have got it again, 19 minutes in. It's still 1-0. Caldente charging down the left-hand side and playing it to McCabe, but it's just slightly overhit, and that'll be a throw-in in a right-back position for Tottenham Hotspur, and it'll be taken by Ashley Neville, their 31-year-old right-back, who's played every minute so far this season in the league for Tottenham, who've only won once on their travels, and that was in their last away game against Crystal Palace, a 95th minute winner. As they've already won it back from the throw-in here, Cooney Cross looking for 4, but it's overhit, and it's Nilden to pick it up for Tottenham, and they'll look to try and break with pace. Nilden plays it into the space on the left-hand side for Rasso, who's going to run here at Fox, but play back into the space for Nilden. Is the pass over here? Slightly to go meeting for it, and it's a goal kick. Williamson went sliding in, so did Amanda Nilden, and the last touch came off the Spurs fullback, and it's a goal kick for Arsenal. Decent bit of link-up between the two Spurs players on the left-hand side, and Leah Williamson was there with her pace to come across, slide in, and win their team the goal kick. That's why she's one of the best central defenders in the world. Leah Williamson, who signed a new multi-year contract with Arsenal back in May 2024. She's been at the club since 2006. And she's on the ball on the edge of the area here, looking for a pass. That's what she's so good at. Leah Williamson looking for those long diagonal passes. Still on the ball, midway inside her own half here. The captain going to a right to Fox. And then back into Williamson to set in a set structure at the moment here. Tottenham. Velti. Playing out to the left now to Catley. Into Williamson, being closed down now by England, and she quickly shifts it to Fox at right back. Into the middle to Cooney Cross, who's going to run towards the halfway line. Still with the ball, into the Tottenham half. Plays a pass to her left there to Caldente. And then to Velti. And out wide to McCabe, everything to her right here. She'll play back into Caldente. Just nicely knocking it around here, Arsenal. It's good to watch, it's good football. Ball into the box for Russo, who can turn onto her left and get away from Hunt. Brilliant from Russo, looking for the shot towards goal. Well saved at the near post by Kopp and cleared by England. Out to the right side here to Vinberg. Could they turn defence into attack here, Tottenham? Vinberg, there's a switch on towards Rasso. She's going to go for it. Can it reach her? No, it won't. It's stopped by the head of Fox. It's brilliant defending. And again, Arsenal nearly scoring at one end and Tottenham almost counter-attacking at the other. Really good turn in the box there by Russo to get away from Hunt, who's already scored an own goal today, as Ford makes a run down the right-hand side towards the byline, keeps it in and crosses, but it's gone out of play for a goal kick. Couldn't quite keep it in touch there. Caitlin Ford, Arsenal's number 19, making a 25th appearance of the season. She's got 8 goals, and 6 of them were in the Champions League, because she scored 4 in one game in the qualifying stage against Rangers at home back in early September. Good save there with the left boot of Lisa Kopp on Alessia Russo. Cleared forward long by the goalkeeper for Tottenham up towards Beth England. Loses out with the header there to Cooney Cross. Touched on by Marnham to Ford, who's battling there and almost gets the ball, but loses out in the end. And it's now Tottenham in the possession, with Rasso on the near side. Back into the left back in Neildon in the defensive third for Tottenham. Into the 18-yard box to Bartrip. Across it goes to the goalkeeper of Kopp, who'll play it to Claire Hunt, the scorer of the only goal so far, and it was into her own net. Out to the right back, Neville, who's facing her own goal, goes back to Hunt, who clears it down the right-hand side, but he can't find Naz up front, and it will be Arsenal back in possession on halfway with Leah Williamson. Just not quite clicking now, Tottenham, and you can see Arsenal confident and are in their full flow. But they've got West Ham coming up after the international break at home, Arsenal, and then they've got to host Liverpool in the FA Cup quarter-final, a tie they'll definitely fancy winning, as they've recently beat them away from home 1-0. And that'll definitely be a trophy they want to win. As it's Velti into Caldente, picking up space in between the lines really well, and into the box she drives, lays it off for Russo, touches it back to Caldente, then out wide to McCabe, who lifts it into the far post towards Ford, who volleys towards goal. It's well saved again by Kopp and cleared behind for a corner. She's keeping them in this game at the moment, their January goalkeeper signing from Leicester. And the likes of Velti and Caldente and Cooney Cross are really making this game click and float for Arsenal, picking up those spaces in between the lines and just forcing Tottenham players to press and pull them out of position. It's going to be another McCabe in swinging corner from this near side. In it goes, near post, glanced on to the far post. And it'll have to be chased down here by Velti towards the other corner flag. Kicked out of play by Neville. Throw in next to that corner flag for Arsenal, as there is the new signing on loan at the moment from Manchester City, Chloe Kelly, warming up as it stands. Her last appearance for Arsenal was 2,815 days ago, and she scored in that final appearance for them against Bristol City away from home in June 2017. See if she'll get any minutes, because unfortunately she's had to wait for a debut, even though she signed back in January on deadline dates, because the last 3 games she's been cup tied, because she's featured for City in the League Cup and FA Cup already, and then the first league game was against Manchester City as well. So just a few complications and cup ties meant that Chloe Kelly's just had to wait for her return appearance to Arsenal. We've got a delay in the restart to this game, as I think it's the Tottenham goalkeeper down at the moment, Lisa Kopp. Hopefully for their sake that's not anything serious where she has to come off, because she's kept them in this game at 1-0 at the moment. It could have easily been 3 or 4 if Kopp didn't come out and make some fantastic saves on the likes of Russo and Ford. As Manchester United are currently drawing 1-1 at home to Crystal Palace. They took the lead in the 9th minute, Turland again scoring. But then Crystal Palace have got an equaliser and that game's now at half-time. She's back to her feet, the goalkeeper. Because Tottenham will still have defending to do here. Because, as you remember, it'll be a throw-in for Arsenal in the final third on that far side. And it'll be taken by the number 11, Katie McCabe, who's coming up to her 10th year at the club now, joined in December 2015 from Shelbourne. 244th appearance. She throws it to Russo, who can turn again and get the cross in. It's held at the near post by the goalkeeper. She's causing so many issues for those two centre-backs at the moment, Alessia Russo. Her quick turning and quick feet is just causing a big issue for Claire Hunt, who's not had her greatest of days already. With the own goal she scored earlier on in the fixture, as it looks like she might have kicked it out of play as well there, the Australian, as they're zooming in right on her, which is slightly harsh from the camera crew there. It's thrown back by McCabe, so Arsenal restart on the halfway line here with Steph Catley. It's now with Leah Williamson, back out wide and forward to McCabe. Plenty of time on the ball, 27 minutes in, still 1-0. Ball to the edge of the box to Russo, who can hold it up and play it off into Cooney Cross. And then out wide right it goes to Ford. Fox is joining in on the overlap, but she'll cross it before she can get there, and it's missed Russo and then volleyed away by Neville. And again, this will be the problem for Tottenham. They're going to boot it away and clear it, but they're just going to clear it straight to an Arsenal shirt, and then they'll be able to attack at them again. Got to try and get out of this possible back and forth game here, Tottenham. Cooney Cross out to the left-hand side again to McCabe. Midway side of the Tottenham half. She goes into a right here to Caldente. Back into Catley. And then forward to Cooney Cross, who took up a left wing position here. The Australian, who's going to run at the Tottenham defence and then try to find the overlap of McCabe, but it's been well defended there by Vinberg. It's now with Cheeky. Tackled by Marnham, and that'll be a goal kick for Tottenham, as hopefully this can mean the away side can try and get out of their own half if they possibly can. Their highest ever position in the WSL for Tottenham was back in the 21-22 season when they finished 5th. And they're currently in 6th at the moment. And there's 1 point off Brighton, who are in 5th. And they're 7 points off Manchester City in 4th. And they've got some difficult games coming up as well. Because funnily enough, Tottenham play both of those two teams next at home. They've got Brighton. They've got Manchester City after the international break on the 2nd of March at home. And then they've got Brighton at home on the 16th of March. So playing the teams around them, Tottenham coming up as Neville has to slide in but loses out to Caldente on the left, who takes her on. Last touch off the full-back, that'll be a throw-in for Tottenham. We're just coming up towards the half an hour mark and it's still 1-0 to the red side of North London. It's now Williamson. Keeps the ball moving to her right to Fox. Facing her own goal now. She's been closed down by Rasso, so she will go to the goalkeeper of Van Domselaar. It's now with the left centre-half of Catley. Forward into the space for Caldente. It's really good football from Arsenal today. And she's charging towards goal into the final third, being tracked though by Vinberg. She goes inside into the box here to McCabe, who's tackled by Neville, but it drops to Velti, who works it back out wide to Caldente. Running behind from McCabe. Fouled again there by Neville. No, ball won. And that'll be a throw in this time for the Gunners. Let's have a look. Yeah, got the ball there. Bit of afters there by Neville in terms of just a bit of contact on McCabe, but nothing that's any wrongdoing in terms of having to give a foul on the edge of the area. McCabe, crossing position. She's not being closed down quick enough, but she'll play back instead on a better angle maybe for for Catley, sorry. No, back down the line to McCabe. Very much attack versus defence this first half in this North London derby. Caldente. Catley tackled. No touch off the Tottenham player. It's a throw-in for the away side. Just overrun there by Steph Catley, who played in her 3rd Olympics in the summer, the Australian. Spent 3 years in America before making a switch to Arsenal in 2020. His appearance at number 115 for the number 7 centre-half. There's the ball given away by Neville, forward by Caldente, but it's overhit, and that'll be seen through to the goalkeeper in the all-purple kit tonight of Lisa Kopp. It's Rasso on this left-hand side for Tottenham. Midway side of our own half goes back to Oroz. And then into Cheeky, who's been tripped from behind by Velti. No real complaints from the Swiss midfielder this time. And funnily enough for Leah Velti, her last start in the WSL was in the reverse fixture in the 3-0 win for Arsenal against Spurs back in the middle of November. Very tidy player, a 31-year-old who played ice hockey growing up in her childhood over in Switzerland. But it's turned out to be a very good footballer as it's given away by Oroz to Caldente in the box, left-hand side, cuts it back, just goes behind Marnham, who will try and play it into the space for Cooney Cross, possibly. No, she'll go for a cross herself, and it's cleared there and blocked by England, and she'll drive away with it, plays it to Naz, then the back heel is into absolutely nobody. Really poor decision-making to do a back heel in that sort of position, and it's now Arsenal on the left. Caldente try to take on Neville, goes on the outside of the full-back, then chops onto her right foot, lays it off to McCabe in the area. He wants to cross it herself, but being closed down by Vinberg. It's now on the Arsenal left, still in the final third with Caldente. Now to Catley, playing the left wing position here, the centre-half, and it's into Rousseau, and it's saved at the near post again by Kopp. And she is having a brilliant first-half performance, the goalkeeper, single-handedly keeping this game at 1-0. And she was pretty unlucky for the goal that was scored, because it was an own goal, as the ball was going well wide until it came off Claire Hunt. So just a quick discussion here with 12 minutes to go in the first half of who will take this corner. Williamson in the box, putting the two arms in the air, maybe trying to tell what to do. It's going to be an in-swinger from Cooney Cross. It's a deep one, and it's flapped up by the goalkeeper. It drops to Velti, tries to get it back across, but it goes into the goalkeeper of Kopp. He's going to hold on to it. Not going to rush it. As in the stands, watching on, is the currently injured Bukayo Saka, who I'm sure will be itching to get back out onto the pitch, but as it stands, he's injured, and Arsenal are currently doing okay without him. Obviously, they'd rather be with him, but they won at the weekend. I said the weekend, we're still in the weekend. They won on Saturday, yesterday, 2-0 away win late on against Leicester. But no forwards to fit, really, are they, for Arsenal? Got Havertz out, Jesus out, Saka out as well. Can't quite say the same for the women's side. They've probably got Wubbenmoy, who's missing today. A usual first teamer. With the left back Neildon for Tottenham. Bit of time on the ball here. Ford is coming over to close down. And she turns back Neildon and goes into Anna Cheeky. Hungarian central midfielder. Spent 4 years in Sweden. Playing 89 times. Scoring the 9 goals. Left in the summer. To join Spurs from Hacken. That's a foul on halfway. Just a bit too aggressive in the tackle there. Maita Oroz. Pushing down Leah Velti. And also sat next to Bukayo Saka is Miles Lewis Skelly, who's having a bit of a breakout year at the moment. He had a great moment himself a couple of weeks ago when he scored against Manchester City at the Emirates as Arsenal look to get a second. Caldente edge of the box, allowed to shoot. Good block by Claire Hunt. Drops back to Caldente for a second try. And into the bottom right corner it goes. She's probably been the brightest spark so far this afternoon for Arsenal. And she scores again. She's in goal scoring form at the moment. The player they brought in the summer from Barcelona, joining the side after winning the Champions League in the season just gone. It's now 4 goals in her last 3 games for Caldente. It took her 2 tries. But most importantly, the second one did go in. The first one was blocked by Hunt. And as it came off her, it just kind of rolled into the path again of Caldente, who could just stride onto the ball and just bend it into that bottom corner. It's a brilliant finish. Cultured, curled, into the corner. No chance for the goalkeeper there of Lisa Kopp, who has been really good so far this afternoon. It could have been 5 or 6 if it wasn't for the Dutch goalkeeper, but she can't keep that one out. And Arsenal double their lead 10 minutes before the break. It's Arsenal 2, Tottenham 0. And it is everything that Arsenal deserve so far. It's been a really fantastic performance to watch. Not just the result, but the football they're playing. It's so much better than what it was under Jonas Eidevall. It seemed a bit slower under the former manager. Under Renee Slagers, it just seems a lot quicker. She's got a lot more ball playing, midfielders involved, and getting them closer together so they can link up the play quicker. And it's not as delayed their moves that they're trying to do to get closer to goal. But thank you to everyone who's here. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I think my next commentary may be Real Madrid against Manchester City on Wednesday. I've not decided yet if I have the time to do the notes for it, but we'll see. I think it'll just be a really interesting second leg that to commentate on. So as we're back with the action, it's going to be an Arsenal free kick at the moment. Williamson just inside their own box. I mean, just inside the centre circle. Played it long that time. Headed away by Neville, but Arsenal will get onto the second ball with Russo. Back into Cooney cross. It's now a Fox on the right-hand side. Out wide it goes to Ford. Quick ball inside looking for Marnham. Can't quite find the number 12. And Tottenham will have to try and clear here. It's on the edge of the box with Cheeky. Poor touch. Gives it away. It's now a Cooney cross, who runs into a bit of traffic. And it's collected by Naz. Touch is just a bit heavy. And Velty wins it back this time for Arsenal. Lifted ball down the right side by Williamson. Had to be headed out by Neildon. Thrown for Arsenal. On this right-hand side. Like I say, Tottenham had a good first 3 minutes, I'd say. And since then, it has been nothing short of Arsenal domination. As it looks like I say, it's the 19th game in charge for Renee Slagers for Arsenal. That includes her interim games. It'll be 19 games, 16 wins, 1 draw and 2 losses there. She went 11 unbeaten to start off. And then picked up that defeat against Chelsea. There's a ball down the left-hand side for Russo. She's just been caught offside. The former Manchester United striker actually has Italian blood, Alessia Russo, which you might be able to gather from the fact her last name is Russo. Her grandfather was from Sicily and moved over to England in the 1950s. A little bit of interesting background knowledge on Alessia Russo. That's with the left back Neildon. Been closed down there by Velty and just about keeps it away from the Swiss midfielder. It's now forward to Cheeky. Lifts it down the left-hand side for Beth England. There's just too much on it. Cleaned up by Williamson, who can play it in between both England there and Oroz. And Arsenal can get forward. That's a brilliant pass by Leah Williamson. And we've just got 6 minutes before our time. And it's still 2-0 to Arsenal. First one was an own goal, 15 minutes in from Claire Hunt. And then around 35 minutes in, we got the second by Mariona Caldente, who's on the ball now. Well, not for long, because she's been dispossessed by Neville. And then touch inside by Vinberg. Caesar caught there by McCabe. And that'll be a free kick for Tottenham. Nice little touch inside there by Vinberg. And foul made by McCabe. And interestingly enough, even though she picks up a lot of yellow cards, Katie McCabe, her red card against Arsenal, which was for 2 yellow cards, was only her second ever red card for Arsenal. And like I say, she's making a 244th appearance today. So just the 2 red cards in just under 10 years, I think, is pretty decent for a player who's known for her aggressive style of play. Spurs just launch it into the box. It's a header away, though. I think there by Catley. That was an important touch off the head of the centre-half, because Tottenham were attacking that ball with intent. As Williamson clears it long for Arsenal, towards Russo, chests it down brilliantly and holds it up and plays it off into Velty, who goes to the left centre-back of Catley. And Arsenal can build from the back. And obviously they've dominated possession today, Arsenal. And the only game where they've had less than half of the possession were both against Manchester City, home and away. In both of those games, they had less than 50%. In every other WSL game, they had more possession than the opposition. Velti in the centre circle. Forward for Marnham. Brilliant ball, and then a pass into space for Ford on the right-hand side. Running at Neildon. Into the box. The angle's tight, so gets onto her left foot, where she'll cross it to the far post. It's kicked in the air there for Tottenham, and only as far as Velti, who finds the left-hand side to Catley. It's now McCabe. Into Cooney Cross, who'll go forward to Velti, then pass out wide. It's a bouncing one, be controlled though by Caldente, then finds the overlap of McCabe. Ball into the box towards Marnham, cleared by Cheeky for Tottenham. And in a left wing position, it'll be an Arsenal throw-in. 41 minutes in, and it's still 2-0 to Arsenal. And it's been all of the ball in the Tottenham half, unfortunately, for the away side. Not really being able to get out of their own half much. And the away form is what's let them down this season for Tottenham, as it's Caldente on the left wing towards the byline, works across, and it's a high one, headed away by Neildon. Only as far as Velti, works it out to the right side to Ford, who's in the box again, goes for the shot, blocked by Neildon. Corner on the near side for Arsenal, as they're going to look for a third before the break. Well, actually, for Tottenham, they only lost 3 games last season away from home in the league, and that was against Arsenal, Chelsea and City, probably the best 3 teams from last season. But this season now, this will be their 4th defeat on the road, getting beat to Manchester City, Chelsea, Man United and Arsenal. And at the moment, in those 4 league defeats they've picked up, if this turns into a loss, which it more than likely will, it'll be an aggregate scoreline of 14-2. So when they're getting beat, it's not exactly close between the likes of when they play Chelsea, City, United and Arsenal. In swinger from McCabe, it's a low one to the near post, it's flicked on and deflected behind for another corner. That would have been a very pleasing goal to watch there from Frida Marnham, who got a decent bit of contact on a little flick towards goal. Just came off the knee or the thigh of Claire Hunt. Arsenal, I think, went short with the corner. What on earth's happened here? Like I say, the TV then would have shown the replays from that little flick, and Arsenal try to take a quick corner, and they're going to get another chance to retake it. Not quite sure what happened there, but we're going to get a retake. It's going to be McCabe again. Goes out on the angle to Caldente, then back for McCabe, who is onside, and she's on her left foot, and she crosses it in, and the header towards goal is over the bar. Marnham's asking for another corner. She won't get it though. The Norwegian attacking midfielder. And that'll be a goal kick for Tottenham with 90 seconds left to play. Let's have a look. Don't look like there was any touch from me. Let's have a look. McCabe with the cross. Marnham with the header. Oh, yeah, it did come off Hunt. That should have been a corner. She's well in her right to ask for that one, Frida Marnham, but she didn't get the call that time. There's the goal kick from Tottenham, headed away by Velti. I think as she headed it, it did come off a Tottenham player, so it is an Arsenal throw-in, and there's no complaints from the Tottenham players, so must have took a slight nick off one of the Spurs players. But just under a 50% win rate for Tottenham under Robert Vilahamn. 50 games in charge before today, 24 wins, 17 defeats. There's Caldente in a central area, plays it into the path of Marnham. About 30 yards from goal, back to Caldente, then out to the right to Fox. Forward to Ford. Fox makes the overlap, but Ford's facing away from her, so she has to play it to Williamson. Caldente round the corner for Marnham. Cross goes into Russo, who heads it towards the near post. It just goes wide. But I'm not quite sure where this was under Jonas Eidevall. This quick passing football from Arsenal is really fun to watch. And they are having more than fun against this Tottenham side, just playing it around them and creating loads of chances. But it's just pleasing on the eye to watch this kind of football. As we're going to get 2 minutes added on here, indicated from the 4th official, Andy Davis. Throwing for Tottenham on the halfway line on the near side. Played 30 seconds of the two added on. Neildon gets the return from England from the throw-in. Cheeky goes backwards and it just about reaches Bartrip. Now Hunt, who will go long up towards Vinberg, headed away there by Catley. Touched inside by McCabe, not a great touch. She just kicks it backwards. Bit of a rushed one, but it will be dealt with here by Catley. It deflects, goes beyond an Arsenal and a Spurs player, and it drops to Caldense. Now Cooney cross in the middle, runs into traffic. Does she catch Rasso? No, she doesn't. Play continues, but a pad pass from Williamson gives it to Neildon. Down the left-hand side for Rasso. Running at Fox. Neildon overlaps. Rasso on her right foot. Crosses to Naz. Gets beyond her towards England, who can't quite get there ahead of Velty. And Arsenal defend strongly and can break now to try and score a third. Caldense in behind and into the space for Caitlin Ford, who's all on her own. She enters the 18-yard box. She slows down and tries to cross. What on earth is she doing? And the attack dies down because she's been sent out wide via that deflection. Caldense, honestly, when she gets going and when she gets playing with that football, she is a joy to watch. That ball in behind was brilliant. She could get a second of the game. She's been fouled on the left, cuts onto her right foot, shoots towards goal, and it's a great save by Kopp. Cleared away for Tottenham, and it looks like we will get the whistle within the next couple of seconds. Williamson on it. We've played the two added on minutes, and the referee, Stacey Fulix, will blow for half-time, and that has been complete, total domination from Arsenal. Nothing else can be said. Just 2-0. Honestly, could have been about 5 or 6 if it wasn't for the Tottenham goalkeeper of Lisa Kopp. The first goal came 15 minutes in after Tottenham started decently for the first 3 or so minutes, kind of showing a bit of intent to play, but then after those first couple of minutes, Arsenal just took over and dominated. 15 minutes in, Claire Hunt with an own goal. It was a good cross from Cooney Cross into the 6-yard box, and it looked like Russo completely missed it, and then it just came off the hand of Claire Hunt, which sent it into the bottom left corner. A difficult one for Lisa Kopp to stop in the Tottenham goal. And then from there, it was domination even more so. And Caldense made it too. She had her first shot blocked. It fell back to her in the area. And she used the player in front of her to bend it around her into the bottom right corner again. No chance for the goalkeeper to stop it. And at half-time here at the Emirates, it's Arsenal 2, Tottenham 0. But just to summarise the domination that I'm talking about in this game, if you're not watching it yourself, Arsenal have had 15 shots with 6 on target, 73% of the possession. And Tottenham, they've had 1 shot, and it wasn't on target. It was well over the bar. It was early on. It was in that first couple of minutes they had that shot. I think it was took on by Maite Oroz, the Spanish midfielder. And then since then, Tottenham have just really been having fun out there. And under Renee Slager, the 36-year-old head coach, she has got them playing football and good football to watch. Like I say, really pleasing on the eye. And it's just quicker. It really is, because they were possession-based under Jonas Eidevall, their previous manager, who was there for just over 3 years. And I think the frustration with that was it was very side-to-side, waiting for the openings. And this time now with Arsenal, they're not waiting for those openings anymore. It's just they're making the openings happen. They're playing quickly, playing in those triangles, making constant runs in behind, making sure that the opposition are always having to be switched on. And they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, I think, next season. Because, of course, like I mentioned before, the Arsenal start to the season has kind of meant they won't be anywhere near the title, unfortunately. I think Chelsea will end up running away with that more unlikely. But they can play. And if they have, obviously, they brought in a couple of players in the January. Obviously, Chloe Kelly, they brought in from Manchester City. They brought in Jenna Nice-Wonga, the American fullback from Gotham as well, a 24-year-old. But she has a summer and a pre-season where she can bring in her own signings and, like I say, have a full pre-season of just working on the style. I think Renee Slagers could bring silverware back to Arsenal and not just League Cups. I mean, FA Cups in league titles. Because Arsenal haven't won a WSL, unfortunately, since 2019. And like I say, they've not won an FA Cup since 2016. They did win the League Cup 2 years in a row until this year when they were knocked out by Manchester City in the semi-final. But yeah, fun to watch. I enjoyed that. Maybe not if you're a Tottenham fan, that's probably a difficult watch, more unlikely. But as a neutral, and in terms of just wanting to see, flowing, free football, that was exactly what we just got. But I'm going to quickly just go for about 10 minutes during this half-time break, and I will be returning just before kick-off for the second half. So make sure, if you do leave, make sure you come back for the second half of this game, as at the moment at the Emirates it's Arsenal 2, Tottenham 0. Oh, and we are back for the second half of Arsenal against Tottenham in this North London derby in the WSL. That is Arsenal with a 2-goal lead and a very deserved 2-goal lead. They were absolutely brilliant in that first half, and if it wasn't for Tottenham's goalkeeper, at least a Kopp, it could have easily been 4, 5 or even 6. And I'm not sure Tottenham will be making any changes that I can see. And there's not a lot they can really do. They're getting suffocated in their own half here by Arsenal. And every time they get the ball and clear it, they're just clearing it straight back to an Arsenal player. So then the home team can just go and attack them again. So something's got to try and change, or they've got to try and at least keep this scoreline down as low as possible. Already beaten 3-0 this season to Arsenal at home back on the 16th of November. Russo in the 2nd minute, Marnham in the 22nd, and Blackstenius in the 66th. As it's going to be Arsenal to kick us off. Kicking right to left. Tottenham left to right. Can Tottenham make a miraculous comeback? I doubt it, but we'll wait and see. There's Williamson on the ball. Only made one error in the first half, the captain, but other than that, she's been really impressive at the back with her passing as a ball in behind from McCabe. She'll give chase to it. Neville gets there first, takes no risks, kicks it out of play. Thrown for Arsenal on this near side. It'll be taken by KT McCabe, who throws it into the middle here to Velti. Back out wide to McCabe. Now towards the halfway line to Catley. Into Williamson, who's just inside her own half. Keeps it simple to Catley, who can bring it forward and play a pass to Russo. Then out wide to McCabe. Again, the football's already flowing for Arsenal in this second half. Catley. Everyone behind the ball now for Tottenham, as it's now forward to Caldente from Velti, and she gets away from Oroz. Caldente with a pass which deflects forward towards Russo, cleared by Hunt up towards Naz, who can take it under control and plays it out wide to the right hand side here to Vinberg, and Tottenham can try and break if they can. Running at Catley, trying to play a ball inside to England. It's just overran slightly and can be collected by Cooney Cross. An almost moment for Tottenham early on in this second half, as we're just over a minute in. No big chances yet in this second 45. There's Russo battling with Hunt, and it'll be Russo to beat her to it down the left-hand side. Alessia Russo getting away from Hunt for the moment and then sliced to the ground with the slide tackle, and that'll be a free kick for Arsenal. And the fact that she looks like I thought she was going to avoid the yellow card there, Claire Hunt, but she hasn't. And she has had the quite dismal afternoon, the Australian. She has been completely outplayed by Alessia Russo, and that's another moment of it. Just did her for pace, and it looked like Russo had just got around her, but that's when Claire Hunt decided to slide in and completely take her out. Not even a chance that she was ever going to get the ball there. Like I say, free kick for Arsenal. Claire Hunt, who scored an own goal in the first half, is now also in the referee's book for that yellow card. So, Cooney Cross with the chance to deliver. As Russo, Williamson and England finding something rather funny as the ball goes into the box, and it's gone to the far post of Ford. Gets it back in herself towards Williamson, and it's headed away from it. And it's now needed to be cleared for Tottenham, and it's completely sliced out of play by Maita Oroz. And it'll be a throw-in for Arsenal in the final third. Just a bit of panic there from the Spanish midfielder. And it's in the centre circle now with Fox as we kind of resume what was happening in the first half with Arsenal attacking and Tottenham defending. But Catley's played a ball behind McCabe. And it's a Tottenham throw-in midway inside their own half. On this near side, it'll be taken by Ashley Neville, making a 100th WSL appearance. Her throw-in's going straight off the head of McCabe. Headed off Vinberg now to Cheeky. And Tottenham have a bit of space down this left-hand side, but it's just miscontrolled slightly by Neildon, which can keep it moving here to Rasso. Down the left-hand side, Fox is being strong, and she shoves her in the back and gets her off the ball, and it'll be a throw-in for Arsenal. Really well defended there by Emily Fox, who did win Olympic gold in the summer with Emma Hayes for America, as she plays a ball through for Russo, who gets a touch away from Hunt, who needs to be careful on the yellow card. Russo goes for the ball across the box, and it's a great ball, but just no one had caught up by then. And it can be cleared by a sliding Neville. Now Vinberg gets away from two Arsenal players and then plays it forward. It deflects off Cooney Cross up towards Naz, who can head it away from Williamson, but only as far as Velti, who sends it back towards her own goal with Fox. And it's still 2-0 to Arsenal. A pretty lively opening couple of minutes into this second half, it must be said. As for Spurs, this will be 3 losses on the bounce for them in all competitions. if they lose today, which is looking rather likely at the moment. As it's given away, McCabe for Russo in the box, onto a right foot, shot blocked by Bartrip. Ford try to keep it alive, it drops back to Russo with the shot, and again, really well saved by Kopp, who had to dive to a left to keep it out. And Alessia Russo's rather unfortunate she's not got a goal of her own today. It was a really short and awful back pass from Neville looking for Hunt, which led the ball to drop to McCabe. And then Russo's had 2 goes at it. And that second one was, like I say, superbly saved by the goalkeeper, who's kept the scoreline down on her own. Bartrip just plays it to a left to Nilden as she's been closed down in her own 18-yard box by Ford. Ball forward to Naz on halfway, touches it away from Williamson, then spreads it out wide to the right-hand side to Neville, who gets beyond the halfway line for Tottenham. Then down the line again towards Naz, already there on the scene was Catley, who can kick it out of the defensive third for Arsenal, but straight to Neville, the Tottenham right-back, so the away side can continue to attack. 5 minutes gone in the second half, still 2-0. Neville gives it away, playing it behind Vinberg, and it's collected by Cooney Cross, who can play it into the centre circle to Ford, who turns away from Nilden, then pulled back by the full-back, and that will be a yellow card for the former Juventus defender. I think just too much to handle today at the Arsenal players. Tottenham are struggling, and it's been a real one-sided affair. Just got around the hips there, Nilden, and just pulled her to the ground. Was not letting Caitlin Ford get running towards goal. There's a ball from Caldente, finds Ford, and then across to Marnham, edge of the area. She goes for the shot, which deflects, and again, it's gone in for Arsenal. It's rather fortunate. Marnham has a slightly more muted celebration. She knows she's got a bit of luck there with that one. But Arsenal 3-0 up, 6 minutes into the second half. And that is just this just summing up Arsenal's, summing up Tottenham's day there. 2 deflected goals have gone in. The first one was an own goal. That one might go down as a Marnham goal, as it was Velti actually the one who played it forward to Ford. And then it was laid off to Marnham on the edge of the area, who tried to shoot towards goal. And it was probably going on target. Let's have a look. Marnham shot. Yeah, it was going on target, and it's come off Claire Hunt again. It won't go down as a second own goal, because it was going on target. But it is Hunt who has sent 2 Arsenal shots into her own net. And at the Emirates, it's Arsenal 3, Tottenham 0. And she is having an awful day so far. Claire Hunt, on her 15th start of the season, 2 Arsenal shots have come off her and into her own net, and it's 3-0 to Arsenal. So, but at least this one will go down as a Marnham goal. She's not getting credited with 2 own goals. It's just the one. There's Naz for Tottenham. Not much support around her, and she slips, and it gives it to Velti. Arsenal are going to look to attack again. They're not going to stop scoring here, Arsenal. I think they're going to look to try and get 4 or 5. Ford running at Nilden, who's already on a booking now. Plays it to a left to Marnham. Touches it away from Oroz. And then back out wide it goes to Fox. Now Catley just inside the centre circle, working it to the left to McCabe. Everyone behind the ball for Tottenham at the moment. As McCabe plays it out wide to Caldente. He's had a bit of a quieter second half. Nutmegs Neville, but then tackled by Oroz. And the last touch is off the Spurs player, and that'll be an Arsenal throw-in. But that's the difference now with this Arsenal team. Even if someone goes a little bit quiet in the game, they've got so many more technical players to make an impact. Throwing down the line. Reaches Russo. Takes it to the byline. But seen out by Hunt. Goal kick. For Tottenham. But I definitely do think it's a little bit difficult to single out a star player today for Arsenal, because a lot of them have just been on it from the off today. As Tottenham try and play down the right-hand side. It's into the right-back Neville. It's now cheeky. Just looks for Oroz, but it's cut out by Velti, and it's now a free run forward now for Marnham. Going to look for the run of Ford in the box. It's just overhit. And it'll go through to the goalkeeper of Kopp. As it does look like Chloe Kelly is going to get her first taste of football for Arsenal this season. She left in 2017 That was her last appearance for the club. And it looks like 2,815 days later, she will be back in an Arsenal shirt with that number 18 on her back. And she needs to impress because she's been left out of the recent England squad for the upcoming international break. And it was down to a lack of game time. And when you're 3-0 up, that is a chance where you can start just bringing off players and giving them a little bit of a break. Don't want them to overrun themselves or anything like that. So she's going out to warm up again. As again, for United women against Crystal Palace, that is 2-1 now to Manchester United. Elizabeth Turland with a second goal. So that does mean that Manchester United remained 3 points ahead of Arsenal. But Arsenal, even though playing that game extra, they are just 7 points off Chelsea at the top. Naz on halfway, out wide to Vinberg on the halfway line. And back over the top for Naz, who will give chase to this against Catley. Catley will get there first and keep the ball away from the Tottenham number 7. And play it into Velty. He's taking the time with the pass, goes back to the edge of the area to Williamson. But in possession, you can see Arsenal convert into a 3 at the back, which just allows one of the fullbacks, in this case Katie McCabe, to advance forward and just give them more options out wide. Williamson, forward it goes to Ford, who lays it off to a right to Fox, then returns it to Ford. Brilliant football. Ford on the right wing, crosses it just over the head of Russo. And then Neville will look to clear, and it's out for a throw-in next to the corner flag for Arsenal on the near side. Just over the head of Russo there with that cross from Ford. 11 minutes into the second half. 3-0 to Arsenal as that throw-in from McCabe is cleared by Neville. Touched down by Velty into Williamson. And everyone inside the Tottenham half here, bar the Arsenal goalkeeper. It's Cooney cross. Plays it back here into Fox. It's now centre circle with Williamson. Tries to find a pass into the midfield of Marnham, but it's cut out there by Cheeky. In Tottenham can try and get into the Arsenal half, which they are at the moment. They go back into their own half side, Oroz. Then back out wide to Rasso. Into Cheeky. Nice touch to keep it away from Marnham. It's now the right centre back of Claire Hunt, who's had a bit of a nightmare today in this North London derby. And now it's Tottenham's turn. Just have a few passes around, which will be nice for them to experience because today they have had quite the beating so far. Bartrip flicked on to England and out wide to Rasso. This is better from Tottenham. And Rasso will run at Williamson, and it's not a touch that's very good, and it's cleaned up by Fox. Back to Van Domselaar, who's had very little to do in the Arsenal goal. So Williamson in a right back position, lifts it into the middle to the man, and then round the corner for Ford. This football is liquid from Arsenal, and Ford in the central area. Russo to her right, Caldente to her left. She might go on her own. She'll lay it off for Russo in the area, and it's off the post and in. This is deadly dealings from Arsenal to give Tottenham just one more sucker punch in this game. Russo finally gets her own goal today, and it's her 20th for Arsenal in the WSL since joining at the start of last season. And she's now got goals in back-to-back North London derbies, Alessia Russo. And in fact, it's now 3 North London derbies in a row where she scored. Scored home and away this season in the league, and she also got the only goal in a 1-0 win against Tottenham in early March of last campaign. And this one is just a nice, easy, right-footed finish. The inside of a foot, a cross goal, nicking off the post and in. Ford with the assist, Russo with the goal, and still with well over half an hour left to play at the Emirates. It's Arsenal 4, Tottenham 0. Tottenham are going to eventually now make a change. They're going to bring on a striker. Not quite sure who's come off though. I know who's come on. We can see it on screen right now. Martha Thomas, who's not scored yet this season in the league and came off the bench in the reverse fixture against Arsenal. So Martha Thomas is on, and it looks like they think they've brought off Anna Cheeky, the Hungarian midfielder. And they've also brought on Drew Spence as well, the number 24. So 2 changes made. I think, one of them coming off is Cheeky, and the other one to come off, I think, is, I want to say, Hayley Rasso as well. So we're back underway. Marnham takes on the turn edge of the box, goes for the shot, can't quite get a boot around it. It's quite a straight shot, wide of the post, goal kick for Tottenham. And I keep reiterating the same point because it is important, because when you look at 4-0, you might think the goalkeeper for the other teams had a poor performance. But I'm telling you, the goalkeeper for Tottenham, Lisa Kopp, has stopped this from being 7 or 8. As we're going to get an Arsenal double change, and Frida Marnham, who scored her own goal, the third one today, was highly deflected, and she'll be replaced here by Stina Blackstenius, who's got 3 league goals. He scored 1 in the last against Manchester City, and she also did get a goal in the previous North London derby in the middle of November. And with half an hour to go after assisting the 4th goal, Caitlin Ford will be replaced here by Chloe Kelly. On loan from Manchester City until the end of the season. Her contract is up at Manchester City, so she'll be a free agent come the end of the season. So maybe Arsenal will look to make it a permanent one. But she is back on a football pitch where she belongs. And it is Chloe Kelly to get the last half an hour here in this North London derby. She goes out to the right wing position. And she's not scored in the last 14 WSL games. Chloe Kelly, she only started once in the league for City this season at home to West Ham in early October. She did score twice though, and they were both in the Champions League qualifying home and away to Paris. But this is their first Arsenal appearance back. It's their first appearance for the club in 2,815 days. It was against Bristol City away from home in June 2017, and she also scored in that final game for the club before she moved on permanently to Everton. And then from Everton she went to City, and now back she goes to Arsenal. And she's making her 20th appearance for Arsenal. There's Drew Spence is on the ball for Tottenham, trying to lift it in towards Vinberg. It deflects through to Beth England instead, who gets away from Cooney Cross. And England now can play it out to the right side to Neville. Forced to go back to the halfway line, though, unfortunately, to Claire Hunt. Now across to a centre-back partner with Molly Bartrip, making a 98th appearance for Tottenham, coming up towards that century. Came through at Spurs and Arsenal during her academy days, Molly Bartrip, who's played every minute in the league so far this season for the away side. As Neville gets it into the middle there for Spence. It's a great ball, and Neville will continue a run, but Spence will go the other way. And out to the left-hand side to Naz. One-on-one with Fox on the edge of the area. On her right foot, tries to square it back through for Spence, which she does, but her touch is too heavy. Picked up by Velti. Now Caldente can attack, and every time Arsenal go forward, they do look like scoring. Caldente into the path for Blackstenius. Into the box, right-footed, curls it to the far corner. Too easily choreographed, and it's well read by the goalkeeper, who can catch easily. And it's still Arsenal 4, Tottenham 0 at the Emirates Stadium. As Vinberg gets the ball from Martha Thomas and brings it forward, and looking out to the left-hand side and plays it into the space for Naz, who's quick, but not that quick. And it's got Fox's name on it first. Goes to Williamson, who can just clear it for Arsenal, rushing it a little bit. And it's picked up on the halfway line for Tottenham with Amanda Neildon. Then back to their goalkeeper of Lisa Kopp, who lost the FA Cup semi-final last season with Leicester to Tottenham in extra time. And of course, Tottenham went on to lose that FA Cup final pretty heavily to Manchester United, 4-0 that day, back in the middle of May. Long ball from Tottenham, dealt with by Catley, but only as far as Martha Thomas, who finds Beth England. And back through for Thomas, who's took up a right wing position. She'll stop the ball going out, and she'll kick it off McCabe, and it'll be a corner for Tottenham on the near side. Actually doing some attacking in this game, Tottenham Hotspur, which is nice to see. Nice little change. Because don't get me wrong, I've mentioned it throughout the whole game. I've thoroughly enjoyed watching this Arsenal performance. It's proper football they're playing now, which is a nice change because they've got the players to do it. But But nice to see Tottenham try and lay some sort of a glove on them if they can. It's going to be an in-swinger from this near side. Delivery goes into the far post, and it's headed by Drew Spence. It's well saved by Van Domselaar. Not away completely at the moment. Still in the box on the left-hand side. Spence faced up with Fox. Lays it out wide to Neildon, who crosses it back in towards Martha Thomas. Can't win the header. And it drops to Neville, who kicks it forward here to Vinberg. Left-footed strike comes off the chest there of Catley. As far as Caldente, who gets it to Velti, then forward to Cooney Cross. Wants to try and turn forward. She's kicked down to the ground by Spence. Nothing given by the referee, but we can continue as Caldente's tried to be played out wide, but it's overhit. Throw in for Tottenham. Almost from Spurs, though. Not a bad little flurry of attacks. It was a good save at the near post by Van Domselaar. It was a tight angle for Spence with the header, but she made the goalkeeper work. And that might be, I think that is her first save she's had to make all day. Daphne Van Domselaar, who came from Aston Villa. Spent 1 year at Villa and then joined in Arsenal now. Played over 100 times for FC20, winning 3 league titles in a 6-year spell at the club. Now she's Arsenal's number 1, keeping Manuela Zinsberger out of the first team. 25 to go here at the Emirates, and it's still Arsenal 4, Tottenham 0. And it's the home side with the ball just inside their own half. No real pace to the play at the moment, as with the left centre-back of Steph Catley. Cooney Cross. To the left centre-back again of Catley. Plenty of Australians in this Arsenal team, and they're all full of ability. The likes of Steph Catley and Kyra Cooney Cross and Caitlin Ford as well. And here's the American, Emily Fox. To the halfway line here to Chloe Kelly, getting her first touches in an Arsenal shirt and playing it in behind for Blackstenius. That's a brilliant ball. Angle's tight though, and she'll have to chop onto her left foot. That's brilliant. And shoot with the left foot, and it deflects over the top. And that'll be a corner for Arsenal. Just seems like everyone is playing to the best of their abilities this afternoon for Arsenal. Really good curled ball down the right channel from Chloe Kelly to find Blackstenius. And the only way she could get a shot off is if she cut in onto her left foot, which she was able to do. Then her eventual strike just looped over the bar, and it has won a corner with a quarter of the game left to play. And Arsenal now will remain 3 points behind Manchester United because they've gone 3-1 up against Crystal Palace with a goal from Grace Clinton. So that's the 3 points wrapped up for Manchester United in their early 12 o'clock kickoff. As Arsenal go short from their corner, it's returned to McCabe on the angle. She delivers it into the far post towards Russo. Beyond her, though, to Velti in the corner of the box. Goes out of it to Williamson. Tries to put it back in left-footed. Comes off Beth England. Drops to Fox. Now Velti on the left wing. Playing it back to Fox. She goes forward here to Russo. Keeping it away from Martha Thomas. Then across to her right now to Mariona Caldente. Cooney Cross in front of the centre circle. Everyone behind the ball for Tottenham. Velti. Back to Williamson. Then to her right to Kyra Cooney Cross. Forward to Russo. Then back out to the right now to Caldente. It's just such eye-catching football from Arsenal. Just playing it around this Tottenham attempted press. Caldente in between the lines here. Finding Russo. Then out wide left it goes to Catley. Playing in the left wing position, the centre half. Going on the outside and crossing low. It's deflected out towards the 6-yard box. It can't quite be tapped home by Blackstenius. And eventually into the gloves of Lisa Kopp. And it remains Arsenal 4, Tottenham 0 with 22 left to play. Kopp to the left back and Neildon. Low ball down the left-hand side. Finds Vinberg. Tries to flick it around the corner for Spence. Cut out low by Velti. Headed forward by Williamson. Russo can beat Oroz to the ball. Then slip it in behind towards Blackstenius, who can poke it to the right to Kelly. It's going back to the edge of the area to Cooney Cross. 10-yard pass to the left to Velti. Takes it away from England and out to the left once more to McCabe. Angle for the cross to the far post. Headed away by Neildon. The keeper came for it. Russo tries to volley, but instead it looked like, well, don't think she did volley the Spurs player, who's got back to her feet rather quickly. She didn't volley the ball, that's for sure then, Russo. Cooney Cross bringing it forward, edge of the box, runs into traffic, tackled there. And it's now with Beth England who will have to turn away from McCabe. Not once, but twice, then go to the goalkeeper here of Kopp, who on her left foot will play it to the edge of the area to Oroz, then back to the goalkeeper of Kopp. Got a bit of time on the ball here, the Dutch goalkeeper. And Arsenal just almost let the goalkeeper have the ball. And then she kicks it long left-footed, controlled by Martha Thomas to Spence, who is dispossessed by McCabe in the central area. And Arsenal have it with 20.5 minutes to go. Will they get any more than the 4 they've already got? I believe they will. I'm going to go more for the, I think 5 possibly. The Arsenal will score today. We'll have to wait and see. But for Arsenal, before today, they'd won just 3 of their 6 home games in the league. And they were all in a row against Palace, Aston Villa and Brighton in an aggregate scoreline of 14-0. But they weren't able to win any of their first 3 home games in the league. 2 of them being draws to City and Everton. Then obviously they lost to Chelsea towards the start of October. It's Neville taking it into the Arsenal half and clipping it up towards Martha Thomas. It goes over her and Leah Williamson. And it can be dealt with here in the right-back position by Fox. It goes to Van Domselaar. Back to Fox. Now Naz is closing down. It's now to the goalkeeper once more, who will just clear it long. Up towards Russo. Header is won by Spence instead. But all alone, unattended, it'll be Chloe Kelly to get it and go back to Fox. And Arsenal can rebuild from the back. Stikanj is Spurs' only chance of winning the league title. Spirit Fossil. Yeah, well, yeah, maybe. But I'm sure Arsenal's male team are about 14th in the league, so it's a results business, isn't it? I'm surprised they've kept him going. I mean, in fairness, the injuries they've had, who else do you bring in to change the fortunes? Probably no one would have been able to have turned it around for Tottenham, really. But even with their injuries, to be sat in 15th is it's not a great look, is it, for Tottenham? Their male side play at home later today to Manchester United, which should be a cracking game, in fairness. I look forward to it. So it's Arsenal with the ball with the left centre-half of Catley. Looks like there's movement on the touchline. Maybe a possible substitution coming up for one of the 2 teams. Caldente spreads it to the right here to Chloe Kelly. Brings it forward with the ball and lays it out to the right to Fox. Kelly makes a run around her and gets the return ball. And she crosses to the far post towards McCabe, who gets up for the header. But it's a loose. It's a rather timid header in the end. And it's a ball straight into the hands of the goalkeeper, who's now struggling once again here. She has a knee strapped, and she looks like she's struggling as well with her right ankle. And it's definitely a play they don't want to lose at the minute, Lisa Kopp, for Tottenham. But I know she's conceded 4 goals today, but she's genuinely been Tottenham's best player. She's made some brilliant saves throughout the game. So the physios are on to give some treatment here to the Tottenham goalkeeper, as it will be Tottenham, the team, to make a change. That's going to be a defender, and it might be possibly because Amanda Neildon's on a yellow card, if that's the player to come off, because it might be left back for another left back. Ella Morris is the one being readied up, and it's actually going to be right back. Ashley Neville, on her 100th WSL appearance, she will be replaced by Ella Morris, who they brought in on a free from Southampton. It's in the summer of this season. It's her first club away from Southampton for Ella Morris, and she's coming on for just her 5th appearance in a Tottenham shirt. Her last appearance was back in the end of November in the League Cup against Aston Villa. She's missed her last 8 games out with a knee injury, so hopefully she can start getting some regular football now, the 22-year-old fullback. Looks like we're going to get an Arsenal change as well. Not right now, but shortly. Looks like Kim Little is being readied. It's Kopp. Looks like she will be okay to continue for Tottenham, the goalkeeper. And she's rolled it to the left centre-half of Bartrip. And Ella Morris, who's usually a left-back, has come on and she will be playing that right-back position. Facing her own goal, turns away from Caldente. Good introduction from Morris. She just now has to release it, and she has, to Amanda Neildon, the left back. It's now Naz midway side her own half, far side. Plays it into England, the captain, who goes back to the left back. Neildon, 16 to play here at the Emirates. Neildon forward to England, finds a pocket of space, and then runs into Velti. They're both still battling for it, and it eventually drops to Velti. Plays it forward to Blackstenius, lays it off for Caldente, who can get away from two Tottenham players and find Cooney Cross. Then back forward to Blackstenius, into the space for Fox, who's now one-on-one with Naz. Facing a one-on-one. Plays it to her left now to Cooney Cross. Twisting and turning and getting away from Neildon. Chopping nicely. And then playing it back there to Emily Fox. Well kept there by Kyrie Cooney Cross. Russo. Back he goes in front of the centre circle to Catley. Exactly 15 of the 90 to play. It's Arsenal 4, Tottenham 0 at the Emirates. As Leah Williamson with the ball, which deflects, and it's out for an Arsenal throw-in. It's a 250th appearance for Arsenal today for Leah Williamson. Their captain for today. She might be losing the armband, though, in a moment, because club captain Kim Little is going to be coming on. And there's going to be 2 changes. So the first one, we'll see Steph Catley, the number 7, who can play full-back, centre-back, and probably as a winger as well. She'll be replaced by the number 5 of Laia Cadena, the Spanish centre-half, making just a 6th WSL appearance of the season, not started since the end of October. And the second change will be Kyra Cooney Cross, who's been absolutely superb today in that midfield, alongside Velti. Will be replaced by the legend Kim Little. She's the 3rd all-time leading appearance maker for Arsenal women in the modern history charts. This is appearance number 364 for them. She's on 174 goals as a midfielder. She takes the captain's armband. And this week, on Valentine's Day, it was announced that she signed a new 1-year deal to keep her stay at the club until 2026. And she'll get the last 15 or so minutes here in this North London derby, which Arsenal have already had wrapped up for some time, it must be said. The Tottenham play out from the back. A lifted ball to the right back here of Morris, controls it superbly and finds Drew Spence. And then plays a ball to the right-hand side here to Vinberg, but a short ball back to Morris means that she's had to put a few tackles in, and she gets the last touch off Caldente, so it will be a throw-in for Tottenham. Still in their own half, though, the away side. Throw into Martha Thomas, sends it down the line, but it's just in front of Matilda Vinberg. And it'll be throwing in their own half here for Arsenal, which could be taken quickly by Cadena, or she might leave it for McCabe. So she'll leave it for McCabe. Long throw-in, headed away by Morris. Straight into the middle of the park, where it's picked up by Velti. Plays it forward to Kelly. Nice turn away from Spence. And finds Caldente on the left wing. Going to run at Morris now. Plays it back though into Kelly instead, who will cross it right-footed in towards Blackstenius. Headed away by Hunt. Looks finds Russo in the area. She's got a back to goal. Lays it off here to Fox. And then into the middle to Velti. Then out wide to Williamson. Forward into Fox. He's going to run at Neildon. Fox. Towards the byline. Is the touch too heavy? No, it's not. Last touch off Neildon. Corner on the far side for Arsenal with 12 minutes to play. So the corner, it'll be an in-swinger again from McCabe. Into the middle of the box, header won by Blackstenius. It's blocked away by Neildon. Well, as far as Velti, sends it back to Kelly, who will return it into the box. Header away to Kim Little. Turns away from the Tottenham goal and plays it back here to Fox. And then works it back out wide to the right to Chloe Kelly. No one in the box to aim for with a cross. He plays it down the line for McCabe, who's still on the right-hand side from the corner. Back inside it goes here to Caldente. Forward to Fox. Then out to Kelly. Fox in the corner of the box through for Caldente, who can't quite get there ahead of Naz, who can only clear it off Fox, and it drops to a Tottenham shirt rather fortunately. And that's been shifted out to the right-hand side to Martha Thomas, who holds it up. Morris is getting forward from fullback. Still with Martha Thomas on the halfway line. Works out to the left, and Arsenal can get bodies back. But then Tottenham can also get more forward, as it's Naz. Down the line for Vinberg, who will get there ahead of the byline and puts it to the far post. A touch off Van Domselaar. Still alive in the box for England. On her left foot, she'll go for the shot, and that's a poor one. An easy save in the end for Daphne Van Domselaar. The Dutch 5'9" goalkeeper. Probably one of Tottenham's best attacks, really. Vinberg with the ball high. And it was just able to get a right hand to it there, Van Domselaar. To avoid Arsenal not keeping a clean sheet. This will be their 9th of the season in 14 league games. It'll be 5 at home and 4 away for them. Van Domselaar goes into the little. Velti moves it on once more now to Russo on halfway. And beyond the halfway line she goes. Still running with it, Russo. Works out wide to the left to McCabe. A little bit isolated. Goes into a right to Little. And Caldente returns it back to Cadena. And again, it'll be set up as attack versus defence. Fox on the far side. Midway side the Tottenham half. Finds Kelly. Back to Williamson. A couple of 1-2s between her and Fox. And the ball into the space here for Russo on the right wing. Takes it to the byline and crosses over the bar. And behind for a goal kick. It's still Arsenal 4, Tottenham 0 at the Emirates Stadium. It will be 7 wins in their last 8 against Tottenham for Arsenal. They've only ever drawn once since November 2019. And that was in the WSL. It was back in November 2021. And this has been far from a draw. It's been far from an equal game, this one. As Tottenham are going to make another change. The number 13, Matilda Vinberg, will be brought off it. And she will be replaced by the Spurs. There's 2 changes, in fact, actually. Didn't quite see who took the place. So we're going to get Naz off, the number 7, for Charlotte Grant, the Australian fullback, who's making just a 9th appearance in all competitions. So Naz off for Grant, and the other change was Vinberg off for their new signing, Olivia Holt, the Danish attacking-minded midfielder brought in the January window from Rosengard. She scored on a debut against Palace in that away win. In the 95th minute, she scored it as well. So just getting them a bit of a run out, both of them. It seems as it looks like it's going to be Kopp with a lifted ball to a central area. Can't be flicked on by Martha Thomas. Won instead by Williamson. Caldente back by Russo to Little. Then to Caldente again. And Arsenal have kept it well. Velti to Fox. Now Kelly, about 15 yards inside the Tottenham half, goes back to the halfway line here to Fox. Down the line it goes to Kelly. Inside to Velti, then back to Fox, well kept. As Liverpool and Wolves have kicked off in the Premier League, and it's still 0-0. WSL, we've got Chelsea kicking off against Everton. That's still 0-0, 12 minutes in. Caldente, 1-2 with McCabe. The Irish fullback goes back to Caldente in the final third. Into Little on an angle. And she won't go for the cross. She'll just keep it moving. Simple passes it into Cadena. 7 to go here of the 90. Still 4-0 Arsenal. 2 in the first half. 2 score in the second as well. Little. Forward to Velti, then lifted to Blackstenius, holding the ball up and playing it out to the right-hand side to Fox. Forward to Kelly. Into Velti, who turns on the edge of the area, then gets a left-footed shot off the head of Bartrip. Back towards Velti, who can win the header to Russo. It's now Chloe Kelly, who faked the first shot, then takes it out wide right, tackled by Nielden. And that'll be a throw-in for Arsenal. And I'm sure she'll be absolutely delighted in her second North London derby in charge. Renee Slagers, like I say, unfortunately retired back in 2016 due to an ACL problem. It was a second ACL injury, she said. And she was actually the one to replace Jonas Eidevall at Rosengard, her last club, before joining Arsenal as the assistant of Eidevall. So she's replaced him twice now at two different clubs. She was officially given the full head coach role in the middle of January, Slagers, but was in charge from the middle of October on an interim basis. As Arsenal have won a corner. Drew Spence the one kicking it out of play for Tottenham. And McCabe comes over to take this set piece. So McCabe delivers it. Just outside the 6-yard box was Russo. Header won there, I believe, by Martha Thomas, who may have been stood on. And it'll be another corner, this time on the opposite side for Arsenal. It's going to be taken by the returning Chloe Kelly. Back in an Arsenal shirt for the first time since June 2017. Ball goes in, far post, straight into the gloves of the goalkeeper. Well caught there by Kopp. And not long left now for Tottenham. This has been a torrid day in the history of their women's side. Foul there. Chloe Kelly tripping the number 7, the new signing Holt. I think we're going to get another substitution. It's got to be from Arsenal, I think. I'm sure Tottenham have used all 5 of their changes. Neville's come off. Rasso's come off. Vinberg's come off. Cheeky's come off. So is Naz. Yeah, that's all 5 changes. So it will be Arsenal to make the change. And it will be probably the best player in the first half. She was a little bit quieter in the second half, but other players stepped up for her. So Mariona Caldente, who got the second goal today, scoring a 4th goal in her last 3 league games, will be replaced by Arsenal's new January signing of Jenna Niswanger, who won Olympic gold in the summer with Emma Hayes in the Olympic Games. She has an older sister who she grew up playing football with, and now leaving Gotham to make her second appearance for Arsenal. She started the last one against London City, on the bench again today in the WSL, but a bit of time for her to play again. So it looks like McCabe possibly might have pushed up to a left wing position, and Niswanger is going to be filling at left back as Tottenham attack down the left-hand side. It's been kept in here by Grant, and she plays it inside to Martha Thomas, who will cross it into the box, headed towards goal, and wide and over the bar by their new signing, unfortunately there by Olivia Holt. Probably the best sequence of attacking moves there from Tottenham. Not a bad ball in by Martha Thomas, but just couldn't quite get over it there, Olivia Holt. She could have possibly maybe left it for the left back Ella Morris, who were coming in from the far post. Giving away though, Williamson again, sloppy pass. Holtz with the ball, slipping through for Spence. On once more for Martha Thomas, keeps away from Niswanger. But he plays it out of the box here to Morris, who will then deliver it to the far post. Looking for Grant over her head. And she'll have to chase this one down to keep it in. And she does. And she plays it back, well kept there by Grant, to find Neildon, who will cross it into the box for Tottenham. Header away there by Kim Little, back towards Neildon, who beats Kelly to the ball. It's now back on the halfway line with Claire Hunt. Less than 2 minutes of the 90 to go. Still 4-0 to Arsenal at the Emirates. Olivia Holt, their new Danish attacking midfielder, scored 13 league goals in 18 appearances in the Swedish league for Rosengard in the 2024 season. As they just ran out of play there, Holt. And that'll be a throw-in for Arsenal, just inside their own half on this near side. Going to be taken by their new left-back signing, the American Jenna Niswanger. Just 24 years of age as the throw-in goes straight off McCabe and out for a Tottenham throw this time, which has been taken already to Ella Morris. Tries to go to the ball, to the centre-back, and it's been cut out by Chloe Kelly. Blackstenius running at goal, away from Neildon, on the edge of the area, keeping it on a right foot and then shooting right off the full-back. And it deflects through there for Velti. But a chance for Arsenal to have made it 5 there. And in the centre circle, it's Cadena, the Spanish centre-half, brought off the bench today for Arsenal. Despite starting that last game against London City in the FA Cup. She gives it away, though, there. Martha Thomas, they want to intercept, but then Drew Spence loses out to Russo, who wants a second goal herself. She played out wide instead to the full-back of Niswanger. Into McCabe. Edge of the area. Finds Velti. On once more to her right, now to Little. Then again to Fox. Ready for the shot, which she will take, and it's into the top left corner. That's a rocket from Emily Fox. And that caps off a 5-star Arsenal performance with their 5th goal of the day. It's her first WSL goal of her career. And what a team to score it against. And what a way to score it as well. A cannon into the top corner from Emily Fox. And as 4 minutes have been indicated, Arsenal have got their 5th. About 25 yards out. She was given too much time on the ball. And being a defender, she wasn't exactly in a rush to get the shot off, but it opened up for her. So she let fly. And as it was aiming towards that top corner, it took a nick off the post and in. Absolutely no chance that was getting stopped. And here at the Emirates, it's Arsenal 5, Tottenham 0. And that's probably the pick of the bunch. Doesn't score many. Her only other goal this season was in the Champions League group stage in the middle of October. In Renee Slager's first game in charge. Neildon for Tottenham, down the left channel, seen through to the edge of the box by Williamson, then kick forward to Kelly, who tackled there, but then wins it back due to help there from a defender of Emily Fox. And now Kelly can have a run, she's tripped from behind, and that'll be a free kick for Arsenal, well inside their own half. Just over 2 minutes left, they've added on time to play. There was 4 indicated. And this is exactly what Arsenal needed. Going into the international break, they can come back knowing that they have left themselves in a good place in the league. Still 3rd, but just 3 points off second place Manchester United. And at the moment, 7 points off Chelsea, as they still are drawing 0-0 with Everton. So that gap would go to 8 if that remains a draw, but I do doubt that will stay 0-0. I think Chelsea will probably win that comfortably at home to Everton. Just 90 seconds to go. It's a Tottenham throwing on the near side. As Barkley's player of the match has been given to Alessia Russo, which I can get behind. There's been plenty of player of the match performances on that pitch, and Russo's probably had one of them. Scored a goal herself, and she's just been tireless, and she's given Claire Hunt a run around today. But I do want to... I'll say it again, I'm not even bothered if I sound like I'm repeating myself. We've got to make it clear that the Tottenham goalkeeper, Lisa Kopp, has had a good game. I know she's conceded 5 goals, but she's conceded 2 of them, which were deflections and own goals. That Emily Fox one, no one stopping that one. That was a beauty. Caldente's finish was a good one in the bottom corner, and so was Russo's, a nick off the post. So let's make it very clear that it could have easily been probably double figures for Tottenham if their goalkeeper wasn't on it the way she has been today. But they've still lost 5-0, and it's a humbling defeat for Tottenham at the Emirates. Got a free kick here on the right-hand side. It's going to be put into the box here by Oroz with 30 seconds to play. It's quite a straight cross in. It's straight into the gloves of the goalkeeper. That's really poor. Just a straight kick into the gloves of the goalie. No curl on it or anything. And even though she's not had much to do today, Van Domselaar, everything she has had to do, she's done really well. which always leaves confidence for the outfield players when you know your goalkeeper is just dealing with anything that anything she's had to be dealt with. As we're about to hit the 4th minute, it's nice swanger on the ball for Arsenal. Forward here to Kelly, who's taking up a left wing position. She's going to have a run at Morris here, potentially. She is. Takes on the outside here, Chloe Kelly, probably the last attack of the game. Kelly gets beyond the fullback, on the byline, the angle's tight. She goes for a shot still, and it clips the crossbar. Took a deflection, and then off the woodwork. Unfortunately, it won't be a goal on her first game back for Arsenal, but that won't matter, because her side have won 5-0 against their North London rivals, Tottenham Hotspur. Domination isn't even the word. That is quite easily the best Arsenal performance I've seen for some time. The football that they are now playing under their new head coach of Renee Slagers is seriously impressive to watch. Quick, attacking football, which just cannot be dealt with when they're in full flow. They were 2-0 up at half-time. The first one was an own goal from Claire Hunt. A crossing from Cooney Cross came off the hand of Hunt and went into the back of the net. Unfortunate for Tottenham because that cross was going off target. And the second goal was scored by Caldente, who was definitely the player of the game in the first half. She scored with 10 minutes left of the first half. Her first shot was blocked, it fell back to her, and she killed it into the bottom right corner. Really well placed and gave Arsenal a 2-goal lead. And the goal scoring continued right after the break. Frida Arnhem on the edge of the area had a shot. It took another wild deflection off Claire Hunt and into the back of the net. It won't go down as 2 own goals because it was going on target, but still, that deflection took it well beyond the goalkeeper. And then with half an hour to go, Alessia Russo got her own goal for the game. It was much deserved. It was a counter-attack. Caitlin Ford charging down the middle of the pitch. Laid it off to her right to Russo in the box. Kicked it. Nice little pass to the bottom left corner, beyond the goalkeeper, off the post and in. And it meant it went 4-0. And we had a bit of a pause in the goals, but right at the end, the right back, Emily Fox, let off an absolute firework into that top left corner. 25 yards out, right footed, off the post and in. It was a brilliant finish and it capped off a brilliant North London derby day for Arsenal. As here at full time at the Emirates, it finishes Arsenal 5, Tottenham 0. And just to summarise how good Arsenal were today, it's 26 shots from them, 12 on target, compared to Tottenham's 6 shots, 2 on target. And they've got positives and they've got a lot to look forward to here, Arsenal, playing like that. They've got the FA Cup quarter-final coming up against Liverpool after the international break, and they've also got to then take on Real Madrid in a Champions League quarter-final, which I think they'll fancy that. So even though they've had a poor start to the season, having to obviously change their head coach of Jonas Eidevall, under Renee Slagers, this season could turn out to be a really successful one. Still in the FA Cup, still in the Champions League, you'd never know what could happen. And even if nothing happens this season for Arsenal, I think next season they can really look forward and believe they can go on and do something and win major titles. Like I say, if it's not this season, there's no reason why it can't be next for sure. But for Tottenham, they've got to forget this one and just go again after the international break. They take on 2 teams right near them in terms of league position. They've got Manchester City at home at the beginning of March and then Brighton on the 16th of March. So big games coming up for Tottenham. They've got to try and forget this one today and move on, because they were just completely outclassed by the better team. And that's how it's ended at the Emirates. Great commentaries, mate. Thank you very much. Thank you to everyone who did join and listen. Make sure you do like and subscribe before you go. My next commentary will more than likely be on Wednesday night, where Real Madrid take a 1-goal lead to the Bernabeu to take on Manchester City in that playoff game in the Champions League. Should be a corker, should be a cracker, and I'm looking forward to that one. But that will be the end of the live commentary here from the Emirates Stadium. It's a 5-star Arsenal performance as they blow away Tottenham at the Emirates, and it finishes here. Arsenal 5, Tottenham Hotspur 0.